Hey sports fans, it's Hoppa here. You're watching Hoppa's Hip Tips. And today, I thought I'd try a little something different. I think I'm done with EFC tonight. So, or for the week, I guess, for the season. So, my thumbnail maker, my graphic designer buddy, Evans Stenakis, had an idea. He wanted me to review all the cards I got in my OP pack. So that's exactly what we're going to do here. And first of all, though, I just wanted to kind of go through the missions here. Just kind of review. So I knocked out quite a few mastery missions. Not all of them, obviously, this season. And my guess is we're done with mastery missions at this point. I don't think they're going to keep going into next season, but I could be wrong. So we got what? 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 4 there that we haven't done. Oh wait, I need one more for Fang Pi Mastery. Maybe I should play some more ELO. I don't know. Frozen Mastery. We did most of these others though. We didn't do Jungo. Montana. Pussycats, Raptors, Rescue, Riots. I don't know. I guess we probably did about half. Probably got about halfway through all these. Anyway, maybe I will finish that stupid Fang Pi mission. I don't know. Probably ought to. Just one more round in ELO, right? Alright, so I wasn't planning on playing tonight, but I need to win one more match with Fang Pi. So we're at 515 points here in EFC Tower. And, you know, if I fall out, I fall out. No biggie. But let's just try to win a quick match here with Fang Pi and call it a night, shall we? So this is Chinese Dude, a master level 57. He has a full hand of Jungo here. And I get to go first. So we're going to toss Kusuri here. And we are going to one-pill her. He's probably going to blast us with Booba. And I'm okay with that. So, let's see. Oh, let's do that, shall we? Play with big cards. How about that? So it looks like he might toss Flint. Yeah, he's gonna toss Flint here. Ah, dang. If I'd done one more, I would have blasted him for 4. But instead, he's up 2 life and starts his heal going on. But I'm up 1 pill, so we'll see how that goes, shall we? Is he gonna toss foul at me? Looks like it. All right. Yeah, we'll toss Futoshi Legend. Oh wow. All right. So he wanted to blast me, apparently. Let's see. Booba is a 10 minus 2 is 8, right? So he's an 8 times 6, which is 48. Damn it. I can't win this, can I? Or he's a 60, right? There. We'll throw Tsubame here. He'll probably stuff us with James. No, I don't know. Maybe not. Let's see what he does. He throws James. He's just going to take it, isn't he? Yeah. Damn it. Now he's going to kill me with Booba. Ugh. So first game, not so good. Not so good at all. So we lose 25 points there. And we're on to game 2 of who knows how many. This is Greco Axion, Titan level 106. So let's see here. We get to go first again. And he has a couple of Komboka and Berserks. So we need to throw Kusuri. And this time we're going to 2-pill her instead of 1-pilling like we did last time. So I drew Kurishin Sensei, who nerfs all of these guys actually, to some degree. He kind of nerfs all their bonuses. So that's kind of cool. So he tosses Adishia Legend here. And we blast her for 4, Exolande. Now it looks like he's going to throw Jeffrey. So, we'll go ahead and toss Kurishin Sensei here. Nice. Okay. So now we can Fury KO. No, do we need to Fury? I don't think we need to Fury with Tsubame, do we? Yeah, we don't need to Fury with Tsubame. All we need to do is just go all in, you know what I'm saying? So we're going all in with Tsubame, and looks like he's going to take it with Kubra. Oh, wow, okay, that was interesting. So now what? Now he can't even Fury, can he? I mean, I guess he can. I mean, he could if I had no pills. But guess what? I have pills. So, we'll go all in here and see if we can get a Dominion KO. Not likely, but you know, whatevs. Yay. So there, we pick up 23 points there. So we actually lost a total of 2 points in those 2 games. But whatevs. I think it's enough to stay in EFC Tower. And I finished my friggin' mission. Friggin' Fang Pi mission. Fang Pi Mastery, baby. So, is it gonna trigger? I want it to trigger. I guess it's not gonna trigger. But, hold on a second, let's see. So if we go check our missions. Where are we? Fang Pi Mastery. We got 400 cryptos, baby. Yeah. Alright. So, there we go. Exolande. On with the show. Anyway, didn't get too far through the weekly legend missions. Some of these just, I don't know, some of these sometimes just bog me down, you know? The 50 life points just seemed to take forever. And minus pills is always kind of a slog, you know? That always takes some time. So, I just barely got into block damage here. So, I'm not sure I'm going to... I highly doubt I'm going to finish the weekly legend missions this week. But, anyway, that's fine. So, let's move on here to our fun time. So we're going to go to my collection here. And obviously I can't open my pack again, but there's this little thing, there's this little doohickey here called by date. You can sort your collection by date descending, and that'll give you all, that sorts your collection by all the most recent cards that you got in your collection. So these are the cards that I got in my OP pack yesterday. And no, I did not get Zoltan, unfortunately, or Volcan, I should say. I did not get Volcan, unfortunately. So, spoilers. I'll link the video. I'll link yesterday's video at the end of this one, so you can see me open the pack. So one of the, so I already have all these cards, really. So that's one reason that I don't really go into a whole lot of detail when I open my packs. But, like I said, my buddy Evans Stenakis wanted me to, kind of gave me this idea. He said, why don't you review the cards you get? So I'm like, okay, cool, I will. So first off, we have Goon Bones. And Goon Bones, he's a decent card. He's a common, obviously, so you generally don't get a whole lot of bang for your buck from commons, but he's decent. The thing with Goon Bones, I guess, is like you got Strigoi, right, over there in Hive, who's a 4-star that does basically the same thing, right? They're both 8/7s, and they both have backlash like -3. I guess with Goon Bones you can get like backlash -4 if you use him on the last round or whatever. But they basically do the same thing. They just have different bonuses. So it's hard to justify using a card like Goon Bones when, and I know, you can't exactly compare clan to clan, what cards are good. But when they're as similar as Goon Bones and Strigoi, it's hard not to, you know what I mean? So I realize they have different bonuses, but Goon Bones, Goon Bones does have a mission, right, to get backlash damage with him. So I'm still working on that. So he does occasionally see his way into my decks. Generally not in my, he generally doesn't make it into my ELO decks. But he's always in my T3 decks, right? Mostly because Dominion lacks a whole lot of 5-star choices at the moment, so he's always going to make it in there. And sometimes I use him in my tourney decks. So, he's a decent card. He's an 8/7, right? And with his bonus, he's friggin' like, he can be like an 11/7 or some crap. A 12/7, So, yeah, he's a good card. He's a good big old 5-star. Next, we got Mallory, and he's a big old 9/9 with some pretty glaring weaknesses. That's why he's a common. because you know, if he gets his like power manipulation canceled, or you know, SOA'd or things like that, you know, then he's basically just a big old wait a second, is he's a 3-2? I thought he was a I thought Mallory was the 1-1 that was like, okay, hold on a second, now I gotta check this out. Oh, he is 1-1 and at his last level. That's weird. I never noticed that before. Maybe they just changed that. But he's like, so he's like got 3 power, 4 power, 4 power, and then he goes down to 1 power. That's weird. But yeah, anyway, he's like, you know, obviously he can get nerfed really, really quickly, really easily, right? With that power and damage +7. So that's why he's a common. But, you know, he can be up to a 9-9 basically when he has his bonus and his ability going. So he's a nice big fat card. And oh crap, did we lose it here? Oh, there we go. So he's a big fat card, and obviously, again, with Ghost Town, they lack a lot of huge options when it comes to T3. So he's almost always going to make it into your T3 decks. And he's just a big menacing card, but you know, with some weaknesses. Next we have Omega Dragon, and I honestly haven't used Omega Dragon a whole lot. I really don't like kill shot cards that much. But obviously, you know, he's an 8 powered 3-star, which is nice. And he can hit for 8 damage, which is friggin' crazy for a 3-star. So, you know, so that's awesome. You know, he's like a Dragon. He's like a 3-star version of Dragon, which obviously he is. But yeah, kill shot, just, you know, it's not one of my faves. And it's hard to justify using Omega Dragon over cards like Predator Legend with his SOA, or PR Vronxt, who can be a 9-5. Cards like that generally make it into my Elo decks before Omega Dragon ever will, so I just don't. So I've never really used him a whole lot. And next we have Impera Sloan. And Impera Sloan she's one of those cards. She's lost her shine a little bit ever since she was first released, just because so many like huge cards have been released since then. But you know, obviously she's a 9-6, which is awesome. Her 6 damage is a little low, and it also makes her really susceptible to DR and stuff. You know what I mean? Like even a -2, you know, even a -2 DR can, you know, knocks a significant amount of her damage off. So that's kind of a problem for her. And also, her ability just seems like overkill, kind of. Like, do you really need attack manipulation on top of a 9-powered card? You know what I mean? It just seems like kind of overkill. You know, you kind of wish that she could trade that attack manipulation for something like, you know, something that nerfs the other card, like SOA maybe, or you know, or maybe or gives her a way around DR cards, like, you know, cancel or protection damage or something like that. Obviously that would make her maybe a little too powerful, so I don't know. But you know, obviously she's a great card. But she just has that weakness to DR and things like that. Next we have Cronin, who I almost never use. He's not that great a card, and obviously he's selling there for 2,600. So not the greatest card, but you know, I honestly do use him occasionally. Just you know, just when I'm doing life gain missions, maybe, or um, or sometimes in Survivor T3. You know, sometimes he makes it into my Survivor T3 decks. Again, when I'm working on life gain missions, for example, but generally not that useful. He's an 8. What is he? An 8/2 with or is he an 8/4 with like revenge plus 2 life, something like that. Anyway, moving on to Numar. Numar's a great card. He's an 8. What is he? An 8/4 with plus 2 life. And so when you compare him to Cronin, for example, it's like night and day. They're both 4 stars, but Numar can be a 10 power and basically does what Cronin does without the conditional ability. So, yeah, so Numar's a great card for the Uluwatu, and he'll make it into my Elo decks from time to time, especially when we're doing life gain missions. But I generally favor who do I usually use over Numar? Numar hasn't made it into my decks lately. I usually like Moai, just because of his dual purpose nature, you know. He can be defensive or offensive. I like cards like that. But Numar's decent. I haven't used him lately though. Next we've got Reiger. And Reiger's just, I do use Reiger occasionally, especially for minus pills missions. But you know, he doesn't have a whole lot of. He's a 7/6 with that's like -1 pills. You know what I mean? And so there's not a whole lot of room for. There's not a whole lot of room to play with him there. Like you have to be careful with that. You know, the -1 pills is nice, but it's obviously not going to make up for a whole lot. So you can't go crazy with him. And 7 power is, you know, so. Obviously he has SOA, which helps him a bit, but I generally don't play with Reiger a whole lot. Mostly just because with Geist, I'm generally using lower. I'm generally using their 2 and 3 stars. You know what I mean? I'll use Hoffman and Wrecked Legend and cards like that that are a little lower starred. So Reiger generally doesn't make it into my EFC decks unless I'm doing minus pills. But even then, you know, there are better minus pills cards than he is. You know what I mean? Because -1 pills just isn't that amazing, right? There are better cards for minus pills missions. Anyway, next up is Orca. And Orca's decent. She's a 4-star 6/6 with what is it? She has growth -1 damage -1. So by round 4, she's a -4 DR -1, which is nice. Or no, she starts out as a -4 DR. That's right. So she starts out as a -4 DR -1, and then she kind of slowly loses her efficacy as far as that goes. But of course, her bonus gets bigger and bigger. So as her DR goes down, her bonus goes up, and she becomes kind of a monster, you know, 10/6 by round 4, a virtual 10/6. But I generally like to use her as DR more than attacking with her, since she's one of the only Dominion DR cards. But now they've got Kaboom, who's lower stars than Orca, so she generally doesn't make it into my my EFC decks anymore, but she still has a place in T3, of course, because Dominion, doesn't have a whole lot of high star cards to choose from for T3, and so she's a good DR card for them in that format. So next we come to Murray, and Murray has always been one of those overperforming overperforming common cards for Sacrum. He's been an ELO staple for a long time, and now that they've kind of revamped EFC, he's become much more usable again. So I do like to use him a lot because he's an 8-powered 3-star, and then you add the -8 attack -3 bonus onto that, and he's a really hard card to beat. And he can make a 5-life gap, and he's not very susceptible to DR. You know what I mean? The only DR that can really do anything to him is -1 DR, and even then you're only knocking one point of damage off of him. So he's still gonna make a 4-life gap. So I really like Murray. He has very few weaknesses. Obviously, if you SOA him, that kind of cuts down on his gap quite a bit. But yeah, I've always loved Murray. Currently there are some cards now like Dobbs Legend, for example, that kind of trumps Murray, I think, nowadays. But Murray, Murray still has his place for sure, especially with plus life missions. So next we come to Lola Noel, who is complete crap, and that's why she is only costs 800. I actually used to use Lola Noel back in the day because of her. What is she? She's a 7/3, and she has protection, power, and damage, I think. And so back in the day, she was. It was nice. I used to like to use her with Melanie, or mainly with Melanie, I think, back in the day. Just because they both had protected power, and it was kind of nice. They were a nice combo against things like Oshitsune and stuff. If you had both of them in your hand, you could kind of control Oshitsune and cards like that. But she's definitely one of their weaker cards now, especially now that they have Granny May. Granny May completely replaced Lola Noel. So she sucks. She's no longer usable. Sad, but true. Next we have Booba, and Booba's actually been making a comeback in ELO recently, in EFC. Now that all the EFC tiers are gone, Booba's making a comeback. I've seen him in a lot of Jungo decks recently. He's a great mono card. He can be a 10/5 in a Jungo mono deck. So that's pretty sweet. And obviously, with his +2 life there, you can make a 7-life gap with this bad boy. And he's only 4 stars, and so he fits nicely into a Jungo mono deck. I don't use Jungo a whole lot, so I haven't had a chance to use him recently. But we'll see. And I generally don't use mono decks a whole lot either, so for that reason, I haven't played with Booba in quite a while. Next up we have Terra. And Terra, again, she's a kill shot card, which I don't like kill shot cards all that much. And she's a common, so there are much better 5 stars in Sacrum. Sacrum's an older clan, so they have plenty of 5 stars to choose from. And Tara generally just doesn't make my list, you know what I mean? She's just not a big enough card. I think she's a 7 power, and you know they have a lot of higher powered 5 stars than that. And I honestly haven't used Tara all that much, you know, since she was released. So what is she? She's an 8/5. Oh, I guess she's an 8 power, so that's decent. But again, you know, her ability is kill shot. So if she doesn't get her kill shot off, you know, 8/5 just really isn't that great for, you know, for a Sacrum 5-star. So there are better 5 stars out there for Sacrum, and that's why I generally don't use her a whole lot. So that is the first page of cards that we have here, and we're on to page 2, baby. So, you guys enjoying the ride so far? Good. So next we're going to go, let's see, we're going to start with Bristo here. And Bristo is, I absolutely loved this card back in the day. She was early on in my UR career, she was like one of the best cards around. I started out with Montana and Geist when I first started the game, and she was one of my early upgrades to that deck. And she was amazing. She's a 6/4, 6/4 stats on a Geist 3 stars, pretty decent, especially back then before the 9 powered cards were a thing. And her -3 DR -2 is friggin' amazing. So that combined with her SOA was like, you know, she was a great card. Unfortunately, she eventually got the ELO ban, and she just hasn't been the same ever since then. So they decided that Geist and DR didn't mix very well, or maybe they mixed a little too well and was a little bit overpowered. So Geist pretty much lost all their DR cards. Now, when they do have DR, I don't know, do they have any DR? I don't think they'd have any DR anymore. They've got a few defeat cards like Mudster that knocks a life point off of you, or Elky that knocks a pill off with a defeat, but they don't give Geist DR cards anymore. So Bristo was friggin' amazing back in the day, and as you can see, her price tag's still pretty high. I think a lot of people are hoping she'll go CR one of these days, but we shall see. Anyway, moving on to Nobro Droid. I actually used to use Nobro Droid quite a bit back in the day. He's basically like Scub for piranhas, only he's for junks. So he's a 6/4 with, is it +4 pills, or is it, I think it's +4, I think it's a straight +4 pills. So Scub Scub's a support card. So Nobro Droid does 1 less damage than Scub, but he gives you +4 pills back regardless of whether you have support or not. So Nobro Droid was a great card back in the day. I used to use him quite a bit in my junks decks. A little bit weak on the damage, but definitely worth it. So these days, again, he didn't get, he got shoved down to like what, danger zone or lower. I think he was like dark corners probably, until recently. So, but now even though he's usable in EFC, 6 power just is a little bit iffy on a 4-star, so he doesn't see a whole lot of play. Plus you have cards like Cubic and the video game console guy, I forget his name. So they've got a lot of good 4-star options, and Nobro Droid just doesn't see a whole lot of play anymore. So then we have Selena here, the tentacle rape card. Can I say it? Yeah, I guess I can say rape, because my videos aren't monetized. Anyway, so Selena, you know, she's a common for Nightmare, and she's not that great. She's a 6/7, I think, which is great which is good heavy damage, but her ability is like confidence plus 12 attack or something like that. And she just doesn't see a whole lot of play when there are cards like, you know, Gumbo, for example, that are just straight up better than her. And Nightmare's a fairly, you know, they're an old enough clan that she's not even going to make it generally into like a T3 rotation either. So, no, not much love for Selena. Tuco, Tuco still has some use. You know, he's an 11-2, basically. He can be an 11-2 2-star. Of course, he's kind of a glass cannon like Mallory, like a lot of Ghost Town cards, actually. So, you know, if you SOA him, he's just like, you know, like a 1 or 2 power or something like that, which is ridiculous. So he's easily dealt with sometimes. But other times, you know, he can be a nice wall. You know, you can stuff your opponent with that big old 11-2, and he can be useful. Reminds me of Fanny from Uluwatu. She does kind of the same thing. So moving on to Cheryl. Is Tuca really going up for 13 grand? That seems pretty steep. That's probably just for, he's probably going for less on his on his full. Oh, he really is going for 13 grand. Holy cow. Well, that's crazy. 13 grand common is not that common, you know what I'm saying? So, he's highly valued. Maybe people think he's going to go CR. I don't know. Next up, we got Cheryl. Actually, we're going to take a little break and come back for part 2. I will see you then.